For that arrogance, I shall see you dead.
Yeah. All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick!
Welcome back to Kirill Smashes Acting. I'm Kirill, actor, educator, cat enthusiast. And right as I was talking, a cat ran through my yard. Awesome. So we're going to be continuing our series on theatrical auditions today with how do you prepare a monologue for an audition? We're going to give you the step-by-step method to prepare and rehearse the monologue so that way when you come into the room for your theatrical monologue, you are ready to knock it out of the park. Step number 1. You've chosen your monologue. And if you haven't, go back and watch the last videos about how to choose a monologue so that you can get the best one. Now that you've chosen your monologue, you must do the research. Do all of the same research you would if you were doing a whole production. Do the history, economy, political life of your character. Do the character background. Do every single step we talked about in our early 101 videos. Link in the description. For your monologue, really focus on what your character says about themselves and what other characters say about your character. The monologue should really be the journey of the character distilled into a 1-minute piece. So it's really important to figure out what it is your character wants to be and what they are afraid they have become. So no matter what, homework always comes first. You've done your homework. You know everything there is to know about the character and their point of view. Now you need to find what is your objective. As we talked about before, if you've chosen the right monologue, the objective is pretty clear just from the words. But you need to be able to distill it into one sentence that is actually achievable. You want to avoid passive objectives such as, I want the other person to feel bad. That might be true. That might be something your character wants, but it's not active. It doesn't give the other character something to do or something to be compelled to do. So maybe one of your tactics is to make them feel bad, but your objective is to get them to forgive you, or to get them to take you back, or to get them to leave the relationship. Simple, one-sentence objectives. I want them to stay. I want them to leave. I want to make them apologize. If it's not an objective that the other person could actually perform because of your speech, then that's probably one of the tactics you're using. For example, I want to make them apologize by making them feel bad for me. That works. The objective is to make them apologize, and the tactic is by making them feel bad for me. The next step before you even get onto your feet is to divide the monologue into beats and units. A beat is every time a tactic changes, and a unit is every time your train of thought or your objective changes inside the monologue. So we're going to go look at a monologue from The Mercy Seat by Neil Abute. So the first unit goes from, he was okay, with the interruption, all the way down to right here where it says, it's pretty underrated actually. That whole first unit is his train of thought setting up the idea that after he passes, he wants, he was okay on his tombstone. After it was actually pretty underrated, then Ben completely changes and the next unit would start at, let me tell you something. That would be the end of a beat, and the unit continues until he says, right down here, there are a lot of people who would like to be just okay. And you continue breaking it up into beats and units until your monologue is in small enough pieces that you as the actor can create an arc and a progression, that you could understand how your character's brain goes from one thought to another, and giving you small enough pieces to rehearse so that way you can really rehearse every specific beat and unit if needed. Remember, generality is the enemy of art. So the more that we understand about where our character's coming from and what they're doing in the monologue, the easier it is for us to go in there and live moment to moment. Hi, kitty. My neighbor's cats are all outside my window. And the last piece to remember before you get on your feet is figure out the character arc. Where do they start? What happens along their journey in these units? Where's the pivotal transition point? Meaning, where do they change? Or where do they discover something that they didn't understand before? And how does that make them different? By creating that arc, you keep your monologue from being in just one place, and you keep yourself from just playing a mood. That way, when you're in there, you are living moment to moment because you as the actor are going on this journey with the character. But you can't go on the journey if you don't know what it is. I hope those tips were helpful in helping you break down a monologue in preparation for your audition. In the next video, we'll go over the rehearsal steps to take your monologue from ready and broken down to an amazing audition performance. I hope you enjoyed that video. Hit the like button, subscribe, share this with any actor or student you think might find it useful, and I'll catch you guys in a couple of days.